Well, it's someone's birthday. I have to admit, I didn't spot anyone's birthday on the start list, but if I do so, I'll let you know who it is. Maybe the crowd will give it away when the race starts. It's a big day, though, for Austria today. They've got the man who will lead this field, Danیēl Mezotich, won his first ever World Cup on Thursday. So the Austrians have had a good season. The likes of Christoph Suman has already won a World Cup. They've got a former world champion, Wolfgang Rottmann, who won the individual in Holmenkollen a couple of years ago. Wolfgang Perner, who didn't have the best of relay runs yesterday, but he is very quick and certainly capable of winning. And, of course, the likes of Ludwig Gredler in there as well. So they've got a hugely strong squad, and you have to take them seriously. Norway, well, dominant in the women's event. There they are in the start of the men's. But surprisingly, Dag Bjørndalen is not racing. There he is in 14th place. He's been sent home. And I think, well, there wasn't an explanation, but I think it's all to do with the fact that he is not required for the Olympic squad. And that's very disappointing. It was a tremendous run. He was given a chance in the individual. He shot clear, one of only 2 men to shoot 20 out of 20. But that may have been his undoing, because he finished in 14th, and in doing so just proved that he is not quick enough to be able to compete with the world's best. So, well, it may be great to be in the Norwegian team, but it certainly makes life tough when it comes to getting selected. And I think lots of the minor nations should consider that when they're ruining the fact that they haven't made it to the Olympic Games. You have to look at the quality of some of the Norwegians and Germans and Russians who haven't made it either, and then it puts things in perspective. Here's the #1 man off, not someone you will have seen very often. He's not in the biathlon handbook, in fact, Danیēl Mezotich, but what a tremendous run he had to win the individual. Ulе-Éinar Bjørndalen is the man who is going to start the chase, 10 seconds behind, then a further 12 seconds to Mikhail Kochkin of Russia, who's proved himself fairly talented this year. Tomáš Globešník and Marko Dolenc of Slovenia will start 4 and 5. Dolenc going 39 seconds off the leaders. That's Mikhail Kochkin, the first of the Russians in today's field. Mezotich has been struggling to get in the top 30 of World Cups this year. He's had a couple of good results. If he shoots well, he knows he's in a position to finish in the top 15. But no one would have predicted that he would have won the other day. He missed one target out of the 20. That was good enough to keep him ahead of this man, Ulе-Éinar Bjørndalen. He missed 5 targets, and look how eager he is. Looks a bit like Herman Maier at the start of a downhill race. Bjørndalen absolutely hungry for success, and he's got to try and prove himself. He wants a win before he goes to Salt Lake City, because then he will believe that he can win at any level. Mikhail Kochkin away in 3rd position. Globešník, the first of the Slovenians, just ahead of Marko Dolenc, 10 seconds behind them. I wonder if they'll team up and work together over the first half of this race. Oleg Rishenkov of Belarus goes, lying 29th in the World Cup. An exceptional run to finish in the top 6 in the individual on Thursday. Рафаэль Пуаре starting 7th. 41 seconds behind. He's got a lot of work to do. It's going to be a big chase, and Bjørndalen won't be concerned about Mezotich at all. His #1 aim is to stay ahead of Рафаэль Pуаре. That's Dag Bjørndalen supposedly starting 14th, but he's not here. Paavo Purinen and Vesa Hayatalahti, the Finns, also absent from today's race, so a very depleted field indeed. 45 starting on the men, 47 of these possible 60 starting for the women. Here's a man who is starting, Andreas Stitzel of Germany, a newcomer, been on the Europa Cup tour and not having a bad week at all. Alexei Aidarov also going for Belarus. Sashurin heading out now, just over a minute and a half behind the leaders. Harvold Hannevold, not a good run for him on Thursday. 29th, 1:43 to make up. Starting just ahead of Wolfschlager, another of the young Germans who we should watch out for today. I don't think he's going to finish in the top 10, but Wolfschlager certainly capable of moving up a few places. Robin Clegg of Canada. The Canadians and the Americans have kept their profile fairly low so far this year. And Clegg is going to have the problem to hold off de Frasne of France, who's started just behind him. So what sort of ski speed can Mezotich maintain? 10 seconds the advantage at the lead. That has been halved over the first 1.1 kilometers. So with a 2.5 kilometer loop before each shoot, you get the idea that Ulе-Éinar Bjåndalen is going to take at least a minute and a half off the Austrian over the length of this race. Skied 3.2 or 3 minutes 20 quicker than Mezotich on the 20 kilometer. And we also want to watch out for the time difference between second and seventh, assuming that's where Pouare is going to be when he comes through. .31 seconds was the margin between those two big rivals. And look how quickly he just eats the ground down. Another 3 seconds taken off, and he'll just cruise past the ski speed. Pretty much identical. Bjåndalen not making up too much ground on the downhill. He's a very good technician, beautifully balanced, takes the corners very efficiently. And look at that, another 5 or 6 meters stolen out of Mezotich, and away goes Bjåndalen on his way to a possible win for this season. Won the first 2 events of the year in fine style. Skiing well as ever, but on that occasion he shot supremely well to take a massive margin out of anyone in the first sprint race of the year, and the shooting has been the big problem since then. So Pouare 28.4 seconds now behind the leaders. He's closing down on Bjåndalen. He must be working hard to do that. He must be working exceptionally hard. Well, looking to secure another win. His wife has just won. Will he make it yet another double? They've produced some famous days, some memorable days. The favourite for me, of course, the first time they did it at the World Championships in Holmenkollen. Liv Greta on home soil. Рафаэль, pretty much an adopted Norwegian. Although having said that, they have both moved down to France. They live in France now. They've settled there. And I wonder how many seasons they'll keep going. Bjåndalen just pulling away from Mezotich. Started 10 seconds behind. He's going to come into the range, what, 10, maybe even 15 seconds before. But it gives him this possibility. He can make his mind up. He can say, well, I'll keep the pace going all the way to the shooting lane, or he can just ease off. Now, what he was doing yesterday in the relay event was to climb the hill. Once he'd gone under the bridge, which here he goes now through the tunnel, and he kept the pace going up the hill, and then as soon as he passed the big screen on the left, you saw him change down a couple of gears, just ease into the shooting, and here he goes. And this is where he just let it go. Well, we won't find out today what he does, but he's making his way. Just got another 50 meters or so before Bjåndalen comes in for the first shoot. He needs to go clear because he hasn't got a big enough margin over Рафаэль Pouare of France, who's just under 30 seconds behind, and that pretty much correlating to one penalty loop. Pouare shooting quicker. Now, in years gone by, Bjåndalen has taken a very long time to get the first round away. We'll have a look and see how confident he's feeling. So you have to take the first available lane. You're not allowed to settle at the other end. So Bjåndalen takes one, Mezotich 2. Now, bad start, low right. That's exactly where Liv Greta was, so that's a little better. So 4 targets down and a chance. We've now got 6 in the range. Mezotich has missed 1, so he's not going to take the lead. Pouare settling in lane at number 3. This could be a big moment for the Frenchman. He could take the lead at this early stage, and that would produce a very interesting head-to-head if those two were to ski the remaining loops together. 3 out of 3 for Pouare, rattling through them. No time wasted at the moment, and down it goes. 5 out of 5. A 28-second margin has been cut, but cut to how much? Pouare is going to find himself in second, but he's right on the heels of his great rival Ulе-Éinar Bьёрндален. 45, maybe 50 meters at the very most between them. 6.9 seconds the time margin, and the two best in the world going out head to head in the final World Cup before the Olympics. This is just what we needed to see. Anderson, 1 target left standing. That's pretty standard for him. Hjelland has left 1, and Anderson, remember, started down in 10th place today and was 59 seconds off the pace. Will he get out? Kochkin still holding on to 3rd. That's a good run. Mezotich has gone from 2nd down to 4th. Dolence of Slovenia holds that 5th position. 39 seconds he started behind. He's cut the gap by 6 seconds. So Dolence shooting clear on the first prone. Dobishnik going through. Borovic, Egor Hjelland down in 11th. He's dropped 2 places already. Alexei Aidarov has rattled his targets down. 5 out of 5 for the Belarusian. Konovalov, one of the new Russians on the squad, taking the place of the likes of Shepikov and Maidarov, who are away in America training, getting their altitude training done. Konovalov applying himself well. Volschlager, he's moved up through the order a little to clear the first 5 targets. Good start for him. And there's the man in 2nd place. And here's number 1 for the moment. Ulle-Éinar Bjårndalen, 6.9 seconds the gap. Now Pouare skied a fraction quicker than the Norwegian on the first loop. And there's the answer about whose birthday is. Ulle-Éinar Bjårndalen. Could he win on his birthday? Welcome back to Antholz. The race for the minor place is starting to hot up, but we've got a big battle out in front. Bjårndalen still with the lead. 6.9 seconds was the margin at the last count. That has grown, not massively, but it has grown to over 10 seconds. And it's Рафаэль Пуаре, the man who's now in 2nd place in the World Cup standings. The 2 men who finished 1st and 2nd last year, battling it out for honours here in Italy in the final event before the Olympics. Is that going to be some sort of sign as to who is going to be the Olympic champion? 3 events this time round, individual events we should call them, with the sprint, the pursuit and the individual race, the longer race, the 20-kilometre. Mikhail Kochkin not out of running for his first ever win, in 3rd at the moment, but the gap of 30 seconds is significant because it gives both Bjårndalen and Pouare a missed target opportunity, and they will still maintain the lead. Mezotich, Sugar and Anderson working up through the order. Started down in 10th. He's up into 7th now at the back of this group. Expect him to be out the front of the group by the end of this 2nd loop. Two of the world's best technicians in freestyle skiing, whether you take biathlon or cross-country, you can include both, and they still rank very, very highly. Pouare and Bjårndalen leading the way. There's Fred Anderson, gained 1 more place as he goes through. So here he is, the birthday boy, 28 today. So still got a couple more years in him. maybe 27, 28 generally regarded as the prime. But if you look at the Germans, the average age of their World Cup, their World Championship relay team is now about 4 days under 30, but getting higher and higher. It will be an average age of over 30 by the time the Olympics come along. And that is pretty much the same through most of the teams. The Norwegian average age around 27, 28. But the career is certainly not over until you reach 32, 33. So the second shoot, this is going to be an interesting one. I have a feeling that the order of the top three is going to change. Bjørndalen under a little pressure. Now, he missed one on the first prone. Рафаэль Пуаре shot quicker and better. He went clear, 5 out of 5. We would expect that to happen again. Bjørndalen has 10 seconds advantage over the Frenchman. But the problem is, as soon as he's preparing for that first shot, Pуаре is going to be settling alongside him, and it's going to be very difficult to keep his mind absolutely on the task ahead. Low with the first one. Oh, ridiculously high with the second. This is bad news for Bjørndalen. 2 loops, and he could be throwing away a chance of winning on his birthday here. 2 penalties to be completed. Pуаре now will just take his time. He's being given this one on a plate. Or has he? So, 1 loop for Pуаре, 2 loops for Bjørndalen, and I think that the order of the first 2 is going to change. The question is, what is the margin between them? Here's Bjørndalen just finishing that first loop, if my calculations are right. And Pуаре on the loop as well. They're absolutely neck and neck. Great stuff. Halfway through the race, nothing to split Pуаре and Bjørndalen. What will be the tactics now? Now, I think Bjørndalen's too much of a competitive animal to throw away the opportunity of overtaking Рафаэль Пуаре. How long will he stay behind him? He certainly can't bank on out-shooting him, so he's got to do something on his skis if he wants to win this one here. Frode Andersen looking towards the penalty loop. Yeah, braking right, he's on it again. Kyoji Suga of Japan, 2 loops. Egil Kjelland has gone well for the Norwegians. There you see the order of the top 3. Dolence moving up slowly through the order. Started 5th, up into 3rd now. Mezotich, who started 1st, down into 4th, over 20 seconds behind the leaders. Egil Kjelland has done well, 10th, up in 9th, in fact, up into 5th position, with Mikhail Kochkin, who was in 3rd after the last loop. Missed targets on that second prone, and he has dropped out of the first 4. Rishenkov of Belarusia going well. Stian Ekhoff, what a comeback. The young Norwegian who's really excelled himself this season. He's into the top 10, and I don't think that's the end of his charge. Stitzel of Germany, top 10 at the moment, 50 seconds down, and Stitzel started way down the order, so he's having a tremendous run at the moment. Started 21st and up into 9th, just 50 seconds behind, having started 1:34 behind. 2 clear shoots for the young German, and that has served him well. Globosnik dropping down through the order, started 4th, and he's had problems with the prone shoot. But there you see the top 8 positions. We'll make a note of the time difference. 20 seconds behind for Dolence. Mezotich at 25, Kjelland 34. Now Bjørndalen sticking behind. Haven't quite got my predictions right here, but massive flags in there. Now, I wonder what's going through their heads. Pуаре looks to be working very hard. He doesn't want to be overtaken. That's too much for his pride to take. But if you think in terms of their ability, now there is no doubt that Bjørndalen is the quicker skier. And if he's skiing at Рафаэль Пуаре's pace, he's well within himself. He's almost having to hold himself back. You can see that he's cruising. His breathing rate will come down, his pulse rate will come down, and he is going to be the better prepared for the standing shoot. but shooting not his strong point. So it's a risky tactic to play for the Norwegian, playing to someone else's strengths as opposed to his own. And we'll see whether he pays the price for that. Egil Kjelland up into fourth. He continues his climb up through the order, only 32.9 seconds behind. He's taking time out of the leaders as well. So Poiré is not setting a particularly fast pace, and that may be his tactic. He knows that Bjørndalen, he knows what Bjørndalen's playing at, and he says, well, I'll play the same game because I'll just ease down. I'll make sure I hit 5 targets in the standing, and well, it's a theory. Anyway, we'll see what's going on. Maybe they're not thinking at all. 6.6 kilometers. 12.5 kilometers, the total distance for today's race. So they've got just under a kilometre before they come in for the third shoot, the first of the standings. That could be the shoot that shapes the result of this race. Will it be Bjørndalen on his birthday, or is it going to be Poiré to seal the biathlon trophy? He should achieve that fairly easily today. Andersen in 8th place at the moment, 48.4. He's still not out of it. He's still got a chance. He's gone ahead of Eckhoff. So Andersen, as always, working his way through the order on the skiing loop, losing a few positions with the shooting. But 2 standings to come, and Andersen's standing shooting has improved this year. And in fact, Frode Andersen is one of only 2 men who can catch Рафаэль Пуаре in the standings for the biathlon trophy. But Poiré has a lead of 22 points, and so would have to finish outside the top 10 for Frode Andersen to take that title. I'm not sure that is going to happen, and with Poiré up in second place, or first place I should say at the moment, a bit of a broken stick. That's another 150 pounds down the drain for Oleg Grushenkov, and he'll be more concerned about the time lost, and will have to settle himself down. So here come the leading 2. Well, this is great viewing, just what the crowd will have wanted, and they've stuck out some fairly miserable weather this morning to enjoy this race, and very knowledgeable indeed. Plenty of French come down. As I mentioned, Рафаэль Pуаré's family are here to pick up the VW van that he's expected to win for being the #1 in the biathlon trophy. Plenty of Norwegians appeared yesterday for the relay event, and there are a few of them still hanging around watching today's races. They've been rewarded with a clean sweep in the women's pursuit event. Liv Greta Poiré taking that win. Gunn-Margit Andreasen, another second place for her, another podium notched up, but yet to win her first ever World Cup. And Linda Sjöholm in 3rd place with a tremendous run. The youngster coming through in the closing stages to out-sprint Andrea Grassit over the last kilometre, and Sjöholm her first ever podium finish as well. So synchronized skiing at the moment. Surely we're not going to be treated to the performance we saw from Frank Luck and Sven Fischer last week in Ruhpolding. They were neck and neck on the final shoot. This, the penultimate shoot. First miss for Bjørndalen. In fact, that's 2, and the chance of winning here today slipping out of his fingers. Poiré has shown him exactly how to do it. Bjørndalen's got 2 loops to do, and his tactics have not paid off. It's not over yet. It's not over quite yet. 300 metres to ski for Bjørndalen. He's already changed gear. He's regretting the fact that he didn't push the Frenchman over that loop. And away goes Poiré. The gap must be 40 seconds, if not 50. And that is going to be good enough, I think, for the Frenchman to secure it. Now, who of the chasing group can clear 5. Kjelland has 1 down with 1 miss as well. Anderson taking his time to fire the first, but he's away. He's got the first 3 down. Will he go clear? No, he won't. The 4th one's gone wide. Dolence has missed. Mezotich still has a clean sheet with 1 more target to go. He could move up into the top 3 again. Yes, he does. So the man who won the individual, the first ever World Cup win for him, and not the Austrians haven't won that many, so he has gone clear, and I think Mezotich is going to come out in 3rd. 36 seconds, that's all the time it's taken to do 2 loops. That is extraordinary stuff. Bjorndalen flying around the loop, and he's on a mission. He's going to try and catch the Frenchman before the final shoot. Mezotich in 3rd position, as we thought possible, 48.2 seconds, and Anderson is up into 4th, 1:02 behind, another 14 seconds to make up on the Austrian. It could be another good result for the Norwegians. They're going to be lucky to get first today. Poiret has built himself that 36-second margin. That should be enough. Further down the order, Konovalov dropping down, having started well, but he's made mistakes on the second of the prone shoots, and finds himself outside the top 15 for the second. The Frasner of France, we thought he may come up through the order, but things not working so well. Maybe his prime of the season has come and gone after some tremendous results in Oberhof. This is how Poiret does it. Oh, they're all the last just on the edge of the prone ring. One more shoot to go, and it's going to be Рафаэль Пуаре who appears out of the woods first. This is the man making the chase. It's Ulе-Éinar Bjårdalen, and you can see that he's up to gear since that last loop. Here's the man in front. And watch the time difference, 36 seconds. How much of that can Bjårdalen close down? He's only got to, in my opinion, hit all 5 targets, and he'll be cruising home. (31, 32). Well, he's closed it a little, but it's not that significant. 31 seconds, so 1 shot between them effectively. He's done enough work to reduce that gap to 1 shot, although it only took him 36 seconds to get round the loop for 2 rounds. I think Poiret is going to be pressed to cut that down to much less than 22 seconds. And that Bjårdalen would be able to close down a gap of, let's say, 7-8 seconds over the closing lap. So if Poiret shoots 4, Bjårdalen hits all 5, we have a sprint on our hands. If they shoot the same, then Poiret is going to cruise home. Well, nothing decided in this group, and you can see an abundance of Norwegian suits. In fact, Norway in the front 2 places there. It's Stian Eckhoff who's cruising behind Frode Andersen, and Andersen is going to have to turn it up if he wants to break away. And that might have been another misidentification. We'll check it again in a minute. It could well be Egil Kjelland leading that group. I can't believe that Stian Eckhoff would be able to stay with Frode Andersen. Maybe for 500 meters or so, but not the whole way round the loop. Nice, smooth placement of the ski. Absolutely flat surface to enable the maximum glide speed, and then as soon as the gradient changes, he ups the work rate, ups the tempo. Much more dynamic than many of the other skiers, just trying to get off the ski as quickly as possible, keep that momentum going, and it really is very, very effective. So it's Egil Kjelland leading this chasing group. There's Kjelland in 6th, Fred Anderson already through. Stitzel, Osbolt, Kochkin. Good run from Yanis Osbolt of Slovenia. He's doing well to stay up in the top positions. Osbolt, who started in 18th position, had a pretty miserable season. He was in the top 25 of the world rankings last year, now just about verging on dropping out of the top 50. So this will be a real confidence booster for Osbolt. Been around for a few years now, 31 years old, so he's reaching the twilight of his career. Not a mistake from Bjorndalen, surely not. And it was just planting the ski sticks just a little bit too close to the boot, but he stays on his skis, no problem there. But now, have a look at his mouth when he comes in. He does tend to produce a lot of phlegm from the heavy breathing that he does, and usually produces that on the last loop. So less than 30 seconds separating the leading two. Looks like Yanis Vodičar at the entrance to the range, just giving a little encouragement to Рафаэль Пуаре. So is he going to seal another victory? Second place in the World Cup standings at the moment. And this win will be good enough to give him the yellow bib for what could be the rest of the season. There's 4 out of 4, and down goes number 5. Easy do it, and away goes Poiré. Victory pretty much assured. Bjorndalen now is going to have to fire these as quick as he has ever done. He's got about 15 seconds to get the 5 targets down, and then there is just a slim possibility. 2 down, 3 to go for Bjorndalen. 3 down, 2 more. Number 4 is down, and number 5, he's done it, but he threw it away with those 2 mistakes, and Poiré can't relax quite yet. Here we go, 2,500 meters to ski. This is going to be a brave chase. How long will he be able to pull it off? Watch the time gap, 19 seconds, 2.5 kilometers. No, it won't happen. It can't happen. Bjorndalen will have to be as fresh as a daisy to take that out, and he's worked hard on this 4th loop already. I'm sure he's not going to be able to make it. I'd love to be proved wrong. Fred Anderson, 2 mistakes. Quick check of the rifle. I don't think it's the rifle. Mezotich still with a chance of getting on the podium for 2 races in succession. Oh, Anderson's got 3 loops to ski. He's worked hard, and he knows that a whole mass of people coming through looking for that 3rd place today. Mezotich could be the favourite to take it. He's gone clear, and he's now got an advantage over his teammates, and also the likes of Stitzel, Hjelland, Eckhoff. They all have to hit 5 if they want a chance of finishing on the 3rd step today. Stitzel's gone 5 with 5, but I don't think he's quick enough to catch Mezotich, and he's going to be around 15 seconds behind. But a good result for Stitzel, no doubt about it. A PB at World Cup level. He's only just been introduced to the World Cup, as the rest of the German squad have withdrawn from these races in Antholz, and he's come up trumps, looking for a definite top 5 position, possibly 3rd position at the best. So what a shame that Bjorndalen missed 2 on the 3rd shoot. That is really where he's lost it today. He missed 1 on the 1st prone. He missed again on the 2nd prone. No, there's no way he's going to lose 19 seconds. He's on a mission. Nervous look over the shoulder. But 19 out of 20 in those circumstances is absolutely superb, and the very reason will less the gap. 19 seconds it was, it's still over 15. He's closed it slightly, but not enough. 16.7 the difference now, and as soon as he hears that, I think he'll say, game's up. I'm going to have to settle for 2nd. Well, that's just what he wouldn't have wanted to do on his birthday. started in second position today. Well, he's not short of support, is he? The Frenchman going through the final checkpoint, 11.6, 900 metres to go. Bjørndalen continues to close the gap. 16 seconds at the last count. Oh, it's gone back to 17.4, and the game is up. He's decided that he'll just ease off, save some energy for the next couple of weeks training. They've got 15 days now to prepare until the first of the Olympic races, the Monday the 11th, the first race, the individual. It's over 20 kilometres. I think that is where Bjørndalen probably has his best chance of winning. But it is all going to depend on what they do over the next 2 weeks. These races here were written into the French and the Norwegian plans at a very early stage. They decided that racing at 1,200 metres was perhaps the best thing they could do in preparation. Other teams, the Germans, the Czech Republic, the Russians, have all decided it was the worst thing they could do. So there is no exact science in this sport, as there isn't in any. And the question has yet to be answered. Who has made the right decisions? I think for myself that it's a very individual thing, and each of the team members should have the choice and say, well, this is how my body reacts best to certain types of training at certain altitudes, and then go from there, rather than expect the whole team to do the same thing. But then you come across the problem of money, finance, administration. It's obviously a lot simpler and a lot cheaper to have the whole team in the same place at the same time. And also the coaches wanting to have all their skiers performing, so they get an idea of who is on form, who isn't. Well, he may have started in first place, but I'm not sure that Mezotich thought he was going to win here today. He only had a 10-second lead over Bjørndalen, and he lost that in the first kilometre and a half. Here is a real battle, Austria versus Germany. Andreas Stitzel of Germany has turned it on. He's closed the gap on Mezotich, and he's got him in his sights now, but he's running out of time. Just a kilometre or so to go, even left, and Stitzel has turned it up again. Oh, this is a brave ski. There's a podium place waiting for the winner of these two. And it looks as though Stitzel is the hungrier. But what has Mezotich saved for the last few metres? He's turned it up again. The picture foreshortening the distance between them. They break right here. A long, slow downhill section before they work left into the stadium. There's going to be an almighty sprint for third place. Poiret, home and clear. Once again, another double for the Poiret family. Liv Greta sealing victory with consummate ease in the women's pursuit this morning. It hasn't been quite so straightforward for Poiret, but he's done it. 19 out of 20. Bjørndalen, he missed 5 in the individual. He's missed 5 again today. Had it been 4, he would have won with ease. 12.9 seconds the margin at the end. That is insignificant in that both men just turned down the pace over the last 500 metres. The result already decided. But third place isn't decided. Mezotich comes under. He's got a lead of 12, 13 metres. Can Stitzel find anything over the closing stages? This is where he's going to have to do it on the last uphill section, and then he's got to keep something for the sprint round the corner. But Mezotich senses that there's someone there. He knows that Stitzel is trying to make a move. He's glanced up at the stadium screen, and he's seen the margin, and he's digging deep now. The lactate in the legs and the arms hurting But Mezotich has found the answers. He's opened the gap. It was down to 10. It's now 20, 25, 30 meters. And Austria will seal their second podium in succession. A win for Mezotich on Thursday, his first ever World Cup. Austria's second World Cup's victory of the season. And he's on the podium. That is how much it means. Stitzel delighted, would have loved that third place, but fourth on your first weekend of World Cup racing, that is outstanding. Remember that name. The first four in and secure. Frode Andersen, a dive and a dance, and he's got himself fifth place, 1:40.2. Those two orders may change. Rashenkov given exactly the same time, 1:40.2 behind the leaders. And in fact, Andersen he's been given another tenth of a second, so he's dropped to sixth. That's a little bit of cruel fate. So all that effort for nothing. Egil Kjelland is there in seventh, so Norway with 3 in the top 7 in the men's pursuit. They've got 4 in the top 9, and the women, remember, had 3 in the top 3. So really the day belonging to Norway as a nation, but as a couple, it has to belong to the Poirets. First in the women's pursuit, first in the men's. They've taken 50 points each in the World Cup. They've both won their respective biathlon trophies, won themselves a VW van each. And of course, taking home the bulk of the prize money as well. Mikhail Kochkin of Russia finishing 2:08 behind the leaders, having started in 4th place today, dropping down to 10th. Issa of Japan, another tremendous run. The Japanese really have come on leaps and bounds this season. Globishnik, he's dropped 9 places in today's race to finish just behind Harvold Hannevold of Norway, who's been a climber. He's worked his way up into the top 15. Yannis Osbolt outside the top 20 at the start, up to 16th, 2:52 the margin. He's still lost over a minute on the leaders. Volschlager 18th. We thought something might happen to him. He shot well on both the prone shoots but missed in the standing and has to settle for 18th place. Well, that's a problem when one of his greatest rivals, Stitzel, has finished in 4th, and maybe he'll have to wait just a little bit longer before he gets called up. Ulе-Éinar Bjåndalen being presented not with first prize but with his 28th birthday cake. Doesn't look too tasty to me. Still, I'm sure Bjorndalen's not too hungry at the moment. He'll get a drink, a little bit of food perhaps, but the cake will wait. Carsten Hyman finishing down in 24th. He's come up through the order. He had a dreadful run in the individual race, and Hyman looking in terrible form, but he proved he wasn't that bad yesterday with a great run in the men's relay. Spawning run for Perner of Austria, 25th, but he'll join in Mezotich's celebrations, finishing in 3rd. So the Austrians have found another top performer. This is going to be very interesting stuff. They now become one of the top 4 teams in the world, alongside the French, the Germans, the Norwegians. Well, about time to get your money down for the Olympic relay. It's going to be the race of the championships. It's the last race to take place on the biathlon programme. Germany starting as favourites, I feel, with 3 victories already this year. The Norwegians, well, we know they're quick enough to win, and they won yesterday in some style with Bjorndalen cruising home in first place. But the Austrians have won once this year. They won in Hochfilzen 2 years ago, and they certainly are contenders now with another name to add to their squad. They've got Suman, Rotman, Gredler, Ludwig, and now Mezotich joins the ranks of the world's best. Little punch of the air from Poiret. That's the end of the final shoot. 5 targets down. He was almost certain he was going to win. I think Bjorndalen would have given him a little bit of a scare. The margin was only 19 seconds, but Poiret, he's no slouch. He wasn't going to throw away that sort of margin. And look at the difference in the shooting quality. 5 missed targets for Bjørndalen, and he's kept himself up there. Dolenz dropped a few places, having started up in 5th place at the beginning of today. 5 targets pushing him down to 11th place. Stian Eckhoff, another top 10 run for him. The Frasner of France, who started down in 32nd to gain 12 places and gained a few World Cup points for his troubles. The last one to score points, Sasso Graf of Slovenia. He had a good run in the relay yesterday. The Slovenians putting in an excellent performance